If you like scary and terrifying stories, subscribe and like the video. On a dark and stormy night, the small town of Westville was getting ready for its annual Halloween celebration. People were dancing in the streets, and children were running around in scary costumes. But on the outskirts of town, Dr. James Harper was creating an unknown virus in his laboratory. He had recently been working on a vaccine for infectious diseases, but he had inadvertently discovered a dangerous virus that could turn people into zombies. While Dr. Harper was in his laboratory reviewing the results, an alarm went off. He looked at his monitors with concern and realized that one of his experiments had strangely gotten out of control. The virus he was working on had unbelievably turned into a living organism and was developing in the laboratory environment. Meanwhile, in the city center, Kate and Mark, two close friends, were preparing the ingredients for the party. Kate, with her eyes shining, and Mark, with his laughter, continued to live in their happy world. They heard screams coming from the laboratory. They ran towards the sound, and when they reached the laboratory, they were faced with a terrifying scene. Dr. Harper was trying to save himself from the creatures that were rapidly attacking him. Kate and Mark quickly escaped and returned to their homes, but when they got home, they realized that everything had changed. The streets were empty and dark, and the howling of the wind was the only sound they could hear. They quickly turned on the TV and realized with horror that the virus was spreading rapidly and people were turning into zombies. The next day, the city had become a world without humans. Zombies were roaming the streets looking for the living. Kate and Mark decide to go to a safe haven. They drive Mark's car to a department store that was advertised as a shelter. On the way, they meet a group of survivors called the rescue team who help them. The rescue team consists of Elliot, a skilled warrior, and Sarah, a smart doctor. Together, the rescue team, Kate and Mark, are looking for a way to cure the zombie virus. Sarah remembers that Dr. Harper had a preliminary vaccine in his lab that was made for the day everything was completely destroyed. So they decide to go back to the lab and find the vaccine. On the way back, they encounter zombies and many dangers. Elliot bravely defends his friends, and Sarah helps treat the injured with her medical knowledge. Kate and Mark also find ways to escape from the zombies using their intelligence and creativity. Finally, they reach the lab and manage to find the vaccine. But in the meantime, Dr. Harper, who is still alive, warned them that in order to use the vaccine, they had to take a sample of the zombies' blood. They went to the warehouse where the zombies were in fear. In a thrilling and terrifying fight, the group managed to take the blood sample and return to the lab. Sarah began to produce the vaccine using the lab equipment. While time was running out and the zombies were getting closer to them, they had to produce the vaccine as quickly as possible. Finally, the vaccine was successfully produced, and the rescue team decided to distribute it to other survivors in the city. While the zombies were attacking them, they used the vaccine to help people come back to life. After that day, the city of Westville came back to life. But the memories of that terrible night will never be forgotten. Kate and Mark were recognized as heroes in the town, and Dr. Harper was respected as the person who helped them. But one question remained. Was the zombie threat truly gone? Or was this just the beginning of a new threat?